President Donald Trump playing host to Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro on Tuesday at the White House. That in an effort to bring the two countries closer together. Currently, the United States enjoys a $27 billion trade surplus with the South American nation, but both leaders made commitments to reduce trade barriers and facilitate investment across a range of industries, including agriculture. Now, Brazil agreed to implement a tariff rate quota for wheat that will allow for the purchase of 750,000 tons of U.S. wheat annually, and will also open its borders to American pork, although not immediately. Now, the U.S. also wanted assurances that they can continue to send ethanol into Brazil when the tariff rate quota ends in June. Brazilians appear, though, to be holding that card in exchange for greater market access for their sugar back into the U.S. market. U.S. also agreed to begin the process of reopening its market to Brazilian beef imports, although not immediately. Well, stocks refer to the portion of a commodity that is not consumed domestically, exported, or otherwise used. It's therefore kept in storage for later use. It's called stocks. Well, USDA's latest grain stocks report indicates that U.S. soybean stocks were at an all-time high of 3.7 billion bushels in December. Rising stocks an indicator of excess supply and or reduced demand. So in this case, a large beginning supply and a 40% decline in first quarter exports pushed December 1st stocks well above the last year inventory of 3.2 billion bushels. Now, export shipments still lag far behind the pace of a year ago. The deficit primarily related to the steep decline in trade with China. Total U.S. soybean supply forecast to reach a record high, 5 million bushels. And elevated stocks often foreshadow falling prices. Well, in February, the average soybean price received by farmers forecast at $8.60 per bushel. That's well below the previous year's average of $9.33 per bushel. And while researchers work to better understand the source of people becoming resistant to antibiotics, there is ongoing consumer concern about the use of antibiotics given to animals in the food system. So, according to new research from the Center for Food Integrity, online engagement about antibiotic resistance is growing rapidly. Could be one of a growing number of factors that drives consumers to either reduce or completely eliminate meat from their diets. Currently, there are more than 34 million consumers actively engaged on the topic, and it's gaining traction. Research at this point indicates that number could increase to more than 65 million within the next 2 years. And if that happens, it would be an increase of 92%. With another Ag News update, I'm Tony St. James.